Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 225th edition of Cinema Effect. I'm Zach, and I'm joined by the amazing Spider-Man Defense Force, Jaden.
Yo.
Yo.
By the way, you can't use anything said just prior to your intro.
Okay, yeah, but you never want me to use it.
Well, yeah, I just want to double down on this one because this one's
Oh, yeah. Actually,
this one doesn't need to go out there.
I honestly hadn't even considered that. But yes, I actually agree with you. Yeah, we don't need to hear about that Transformers stuff, you know. Yeah, and of course, PTA's number one fanboy, aka Fitzy, aka Liam. I think you're muted. Are you muted?
Hi.
Very nice, very nice. Are you guys ready today for these Twilight views? Get those Twilight clicks. You know what I'm saying?
I started taking notes, and then I realized, like 20 minutes in, that this was just not a film worth taking notes for.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. I disagree. There's a lot of fans that have high expectations clicking on this video, Jaden, that we do this film
I'll do
major
my best.
justice. Major justice. I always do think that, though, with the other ones that have gotten decent amount of views, of like, do these people click on this video and are just like, the second we start like giving our opening thoughts, are just like disappointed because we're just kind of like, eh.
Well, given the watch time, I'd say so.
Yeah, or the second they realize we're like men, they're like, oh, you know, that too, maybe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. This week, the movie we are reviewing is the end of the Twilight Saga. It is Breaking Dawn Part 2, which opened in the US on November 16th, 2012. It was directed by Bill Condon. It is a teen fantasy drama. And in this one, there were like 5 genres before romance finally at the end, because there wasn't much of that in this one. The synopsis says, after the birth of Renesmee / Nessie, oh man, the Cullens gather other vampire clans in order to protect the child from a false allegation that puts the family in front of the Volturi. When you put it like that, the plot of this movie sounds really dumb, and I guess it kind of is in a way. But anyways, Fitzy, what did you think of Breaking Dawn Part 2?
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of unbearable. And then, like, I thought I was coming along in the end, but it was kind of cheap thrills, and, you know, I got yanked out of that pretty quickly. Well, not pretty quickly, but, you know, with what happened at the end. It was just like 10 times more cringe than any other entry for me. I don't know how, I don't know why.
Wow.
The opening gave me like sensory overload, you know, and it's just like, I don't know, it was just like too much. And then as soon as we kind of slowed down and we went into the fever dream of like having all these people and, you know, Rami Malek and Lee Pace showing up, it was just, I was not invested enough to care about this configuration of you know, vampire vampire army thing. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like the end fight stuff was kind of cool, but again, it was very cheap thrills. So I mean, I just wasn't. I think just Bella being a vampire isn't that interesting in general. Like when you take away the whole dynamic, it's like this is just like vampire fighting shit now, and it's not that interesting. And then the Jacob stuff is like super cringe for some reason. I don't know. Like,
some reason.
Like Nessie, oh my god, that line.
Dude,
oh, Jesus Christ.
That was so good. Come on, that was good. That was so
good. Yeah.
Wait, so who does Lee Pace play?
I don't know his name, but he's like...
Yeah, which one is he?
He's like the tall... He's a really tall guy. He's like
the Drifter vampire.
He's the one that's like eating... He's the one that's like attacking some guy in an alleyway, and he's like, I don't like when the English invaded the first time. I don't like the second time either, you know?
The one that said like he's been in all the famous battles.
Yeah. I guess he said that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A few vampires said that, but yeah, he was one of them.
Actually, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Jan, I get a sense you're going to agree, so I'll go to you.
Yeah, dude. Like, this shit was funny as, but like, for the worst reasons. The big spoiler that I've been alluding to all along in the series that I've been aware of is the fact that the final battle is a fake out. Because
that sucks.
yeah, because the Watchmojo video was like top 10 most disappointing like endings or some shit like that.
Okay.
And yeah, obviously you're gonna get a bit spoiled by that. So yeah, like even like I couldn't. I mean, I guess you guys had a similar experience where like obviously the fake out had that effect on you, but also I couldn't get into the fight at all in the first place because I knew.
Yeah, right. That sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this shit's hilarious, especially that first fucking 30 minutes. There's just so many piss take things, man. But like it is also just I don't know. It gets very boring in the whole like the legions of vampires thing, and I don't know. I mean, like it it feels like they shouldn't have split it. I think in the is the ultimate thing. Like I think when you realize that like 10% of the runtime of this film is dedicated to credits, you're like, oh, so they were definitely trying to fucking pad time. Like they probably could have cut some shit from either of these and had a decent one movie, but I think the splitting of it hurt because there's a lot of boring shit in this one, I think, as well as it being funny.
Okay, interesting. Guys, this is my second favorite one. I really I was surprised I liked it. I don't know. Oh my god. I guess you can call me a fan of this movie overall. It had a few standout moments that actually pulled me in. It didn't overstay its welcome. Dude, come on, you can't call this movie boring compared to part 1.
I like part 1's character drama a lot more than the assembly of vampires.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. I'm not with that, but I don't know. This movie had obviously funny moments, crazy stuff going on in this movie.
Yeah.
Which was good. I'm down for that. It functions as a finale. I guess. I mean, it didn't blow my mind as a finale at all. Like, because I feel like this franchise has not built a story at all. Like in terms of over a series of movies that you want to see a climax to. But I don't know. It worked story wise for me. I enjoyed the ride. That's as simple as I can put it. I really did. I don't know. I want to sort of nail down this aspect of your two openings already because 50 said that Bella being a vampire, not into it. Jaden said the first. You also highlighted the first 30 minutes, Jaden. So I assume you're just talking about getting used to Bella being a vampire, how everyone reacts to it, the fucking crazy her running around doing shit. You know what I mean? Is this what you're talking about with the funny stuff?
Yeah, there's just so much funny shit, man. The hunt is just fucking hilarious, man. And when she and they have that like terrible ADR for the Kruger as she like attacks it, and obviously the whole you nickname my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster thing, and
yes.
and Jacob just stripping down in front of fucking
dude,
Bella's dad.
That was actually funny though.
Funny shit, man.
That's good.
But that one wasn't
that one was intended to be funny. Yeah. No, that's fair. I have 2806. There's a shot of the baby's face that is absolutely piss take. Which is probably like the worst the baby looks in the film. I had to write that down.
At what age was she there, kind of? Because
it was when Billy Burke meets her for the first time, I think.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. And there's a front on close up of the baby, and it is just horrendous. But there's just so many other hilarious scenes throughout the film that are like that. I don't know.
If I had to pick, oh man, you've already hit on a few bangers for sure. I mean, my highlight might be Bella Superman flying and just fucking colliding with that mountain lion. That was good. I enjoyed that a lot. I was like, all right, I guess this is the movie I'm watching now. It felt like, and there are various points where I don't know Dragon Ball very well, but like it just reminded me of that. I guess what that would be to an extent. I don't know if there's a better comparison. But where they're just, and like it happens later, where they're all just sort of like floating and hitting.
Just offended the entirety of South America.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. But just that kind of, I don't know, that kind of action was just hilarious to me.
All the Jacob Renesmee stuff is fucking hilarious. It is, dude. When he tries to like take her away, it's like that's enough.
Jacob, man. Dude, I actually liked it. Like I think I just really appreciated the lack of the plot being that Jacob wants to be with Bella. Like, I'm so glad that was over. Like, the second we get into the start of this movie, and it's just like he's clearly just cool with them now as a couple, and like that's not even brought up anymore in this movie. I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, I don't need Jacob like, you know, thirsting over Bella for another movie. You've done that 3 times now, you know. And like maybe I'm starting to think that's what has in common for me to like the first one, because it's not really in that one that much. So I'm like, oh man. Anyway, so I was just like, thank God. The second they show up and he's happy, like he's fine with them. Thank God for that. He's actually a tolerable character in my mind now. And then, yeah, after that, no, totally with the whole everything with Renesmee, man, with him. You already nailed it. It's just it's it's ridiculous, and it really does. I don't know, highlight like the idea of this being the choice in the book, I guess. It's just kind of like, okay, why? But and the even weirder part is not to go all the way to the end, but like the final flashback, the final vision that Alice has, like confirms that it is like a romantic thing, right?
Yeah.
Straight up.
Oh, really?
So it's like,
I didn't.
That's it, totally how I read it. Because then they're like with their little a head is on his shoulder, and then they have like a couple, like a couple. What do you call it? A double date with Edward, and which is just weird, by the way. Imagine having a double date with your parents.
I mean, they're immortal. I think like at that point, like boundaries like that like stop existing.
Yeah, true. Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
But like that's how I read that final vision of just like when Jacob was going on about the start, Bella freaking out about like what this means, the imprinting. She was like, it's not like that. Well, it is, dude. and it just made me like reread, because I wanted to believe him where it's like it's not like that, and it's like, okay, you know, he's just, you know, it's just sort of this uncle. I'll nicely put it as like an uncle relationship, you know, where he's like really protective. It's like, okay. But then, like, I feel like you just contradicted that at the end, and now I have to look at the whole thing of like, okay, now he's basically waiting for this child to grow up so he can be with her. Like, that's weird.
Which only takes 7 years, which is fantastic.
Well, that's great for him. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So it sounds like you didn't read it that way though, Fitzy. Were you just like, oh, they're just hanging out, you know?
I was kind of questioning the purpose of that scene, because I was like, it looked like a happily ever after thing, but then I was like, why is it showing this when Renesmee grows up so fast that this would be like in 2 days? But I don't know. Yeah, I guess, dude, that's so much worse that they get together. I don't know. I know. I didn't even realize that. Yeah.
That's how I read it, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Just the body language and everything, right, Jen? Like, I don't know. That's what I thought it was. Yeah, man. When Bella just freaks out at Jacob imprinting, I mean, so her on issue. So in the moment, like I was kind of like, Bella's being a bit unreasonable here, because, you know, he can't, as he claims, you know, he can't help it, you know. Like, fair enough. I was kind of on Jacob's side in that, but she was ultimately right. You know what I mean? Like, he has the hots for a baby daughter. But I'm saying, yes. but prior to that, like reveal at the end or whatever, you know, that context.
No, but it doesn't. That fucking reveal at the end doesn't mean shit. Like everyone knows what imprinting is, which unfortunately everyone knows what imprinting is. But like you know from the start what it is. It's just that he says it's not like that, as in like he did it to protect the family at the end of the first movie as a type of thing. Not that he's not interested in it. He's like the reason why he did it so early is because of that. You know.
Oh.
He's not saying, "Oh no, I don't actually."
I'm not a pedo. I swear.
Yeah, like, he's just saying he's like saying like, you know, it's like everyone knows imprinting is a love thing, and like it's like a territory thing. It's like a, you know, all that shit.
Yeah,
like
right.
It's meant to be from the start that they're meant to get together.
Well, then obviously that makes sense. She's pissed off. I guess I was reading it the other way, so that makes a lot more sense now, for sure. You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster? What a line.
Which is a better name, like, infinitely, by the way.
Nessie, or Ness?
Nessie's 100% better than fucking
Nessie.
Or Ness, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, that's actually totally true, yeah. Fitzy, you said you found it less interesting, but I'm just... did you find anything appealing in the notion of watching Bella master her vampire powers, becoming a vampire, as Jacob puts it in the film, her Jedi training.
Well, yeah, I just think because like they changed her entire kind of personality that they needed to address that transition more or like do something there. But it was kind of just like now she's a vampire and she's doing vampire stuff, and it was like her old personality, her old self doesn't like factor into it at all, which kind of takes away from the other films and just the story and the saga in general. Yes,
I totally agree with that. Actually, yeah. Because I mean, I've talked about this ad nauseum in the other reviews, so I won't go on again. But I've really liked the notion of like the choice between becoming a vampire or not, and yeah, I feel like these last two movies have totally just ignored it. I don't know. It's like she's a vampire now, and they just did not look back at all. There's no sense of like reflection of like how do I feel about this. There's one line in the movie that I wrote down, where she says she was born to be a vampire. So it's like she became a vampire, had zero regret, and that was it. It's like, okay, all right, cool guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not. I think to what you're saying, that's not very interesting. Like I think it would have been a lot cooler if she had to sort of struggle with it for a little bit, and then accept it.
Yeah. Cool. Like even if it was like she just like, she just, what do you call it? Oh, dude, what am I trying to say? My ego. You say something, and then I'll.
Oh, okay.
I'll say something.
And, I'll jump. I'll help you out.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'll say something. I will. Well, even Edward, who, in the previous films, was pretty against the turning, taking away her humanity, who she is, all this kind of shit. And I understood that argument previously, dude. The second she turns in this one, he's all about it. He doesn't. He's like, what? Did I ever? He can't even believe he ever thought that. He's just like, I love that. It actually is pretty funny when he's there laughing, like watching her beat up Jacob, because he just thinks it's great. And it's like, I think that's pretty funny. But from a story perspective, from a character perspective, it's pretty I don't know, pretty much ignoring anything you've tried to establish prior.
Yeah.
Shouldn't Edward feel something about her now being a vampire other than just this is great. She's strong.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't even have to do anything like massive, in my opinion. They just had to add some element of like her acknowledging her changes or like a bit of regret, even if it wasn't like in the body posture scene where she's kind of like, she sits totally different now and everything, and it's like, I don't know, maybe if there was just some acknowledgement there of like the way she used to be, but it's just like she just kind of rejects everything about human existence, human kind of habits and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. So you brought up that scene. It's a notable scene in my opinion because I actually think the scene's good. Like in terms of functioning as a Bella Charlie sort of reunion moment, and we like the Charlie character here. So, and then their conversation of trying to get around not telling him, and then trying to have the heart to heart of like I'll tell you what you need to know. I thought that scene was actually quite worked. It pulled on the strings it was meant to, but. So I liked that scene. We've already established I liked the also I think we all liked the strip show scene with Jacob. I think it was like the scene before that, like stripping off for Charlie in the woods. That was pretty funny. So I liked both scenes, but I don't really understand how both scenes function together at all. Why? So the only reason Jacob would reveal himself as a werewolf to Charlie is to like open his mind to the idea that there are monsters and there's crazy magical shit going out there in the world or whatever. Yeah. Like why would he? So that's clearly right. Got to be set up for them telling him that Bella's a vampire, right?
But they don't want him to know that. So I think it's just that she's had like magical treatment rather than her being a vampire.
That's so weird though, like because that felt so unnecessary in the end. Like, so Jacob's just he's exposed himself, he's exposed his people. Just to
but to his like a good friend of like his dad's and the tribe, and like someone that they can trust entirely.
No, I agree with that, but then I also think so. This is what I'm saying. I feel like you had to pick one or the other. Like I feel like Charlie can be trusted with the vampire knowledge, in my opinion. They obviously disagree, which is fine. But my point is, it's like I feel like you could have taken the strip scene out in terms of him understanding that Jacob's a werewolf, and then like you just have the exact same scene where I'll tell you what you need to know, and you got to trust me, and it would just be the same. Like, I don't understand. Like, why does that? Do you think that would change Charlie's reaction to that conversation with Bella?
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
It wouldn't change Charlie's reaction, but I think it helps with audiences' understanding to his reaction, I think.
Oh, because otherwise right. Okay. Otherwise it would be too much.
Like, oh, what? She's been away for 6 months, ill as fuck, and now he's just okay with it. I think it's like, it's an audience scene, and plus it's like the only good scene in the movie. So like, why would you want to take that?
Right. Yeah. No. I guess I wouldn't want to take out 2 decent scenes in the movie. I guess. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I just thought it was odd. I was just kind of like, yeah. No, I get what you're saying. For the audience, that does make sense. In universe, though, I'm just kind of like,
yeah, it definitely raises more questions than answers.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. For Charlie. So Charlie's now thinking, like, he literally asks her, which is funny, like, so what do you turn into an animal too? And it's like, obviously that's where his head's going to be at. And he's not far off. So I feel like at that point, like, the logical road is that you just got to tell him that you're a vampire. But then you go down this road of hiding it. Like,
actually, I thought that would happen because, like, it kind of seems like an obvious way to take the plot. Like, they have to protect Charlie as well.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, so they didn't do that.
No, they did not do that. Alas, the plot of this movie becomes, I mean, God, what's the best way to explain this? The plot of this movie
Twilight Avengers.
is, yes, but over the fact that they need witnesses to
Twilight Jury
Avengers to prove that Renesmee does in fact age. And it's like, I don't know, it's kind of silly. Look, I don't know. First of all, so these vampires, they don't have we ever seen them have an iPhone before? Do they have phones?
They have flip phones and stuff like that in the first one.
They have flip
2008, remember?
That's right. Do flip phones have video cameras, Jaden?
Some do.
Right. Okay. I feel like they just needed to like video. Here's Renesmee as a baby, and then like a week later, here's Renesmee again. Like why doesn't?
And who's to say that it's not a different child?
Oh, God.
Which would be the logical thing, given that you're saying it's weeks apart.
A different child. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, in terms of like the rapid aging would be new, I guess. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, but do you agree? Like the whole idea of the plot is kind of stupid. Like this is the like I just to elaborate a bit more on what I'm saying. Like this is the finale of this saga in quotes, and the plot of it has not been built to in any way. It's just totally made up for this movie or for this half of this book or whatever. And it's the fact that the Volturi now have a problem with Renesmee being born, and what that means. I like the idea of the immortal child. I will say that that's cool. In terms of them having an issue with that makes perfect sense. Like if you turn a child, that's a problem because they're unhinged and all that. That's cool. So I like the lore aspect of that, I guess. But I don't know. It just sort of feels like this is your finale. Like this totally made up plot.
So the Volturi thing has been built up over the past few movies. Like you can't say it just came out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, them as a
the Volturi have been wanting to take over the Cullen clan for a while because they've like represent like an independent state or whatever the fuck.
Right.
Within like the vampire lore. But I think the issue with you feeling let down by this being a finale is a fault on the direction of the franchise rather than on the actual story itself. I feel like I haven't read the book, so I can't really speak to it. But to me, it's always been more of a love thing and a romantic thing than it has been anything else. So that's why I always find your whole criticism of Jacob weird, because like the love triangle is the story, whereas you're looking for plot to be the story when that isn't the case. This is a romance thing where the relationships between Bella and Edward and Bella and Jacob and Edward are the driving factor of the series. So that's why I think and I think your issue is also why the series falls flat in general, because the series has been, this last one in particular has been stuck between adapting a romance, but then also competing with other young adult novels and expectations from a general audience, not just fans, in making a battle or a climax, when that's not what the series is. It's a romance. So that's why I think like the whole fake out would probably play better in the book, because it knows where to give its focus, you know. And I think I think that's what it is. I just think that it's a romance story that's being directed into a kind of general teen drama, like fiction, like fantasy kind of thing, like, you know.
Right. That makes sense. I can't imagine readers being too worried about, you know, what the final battle is going to be, kind of thing. They're worried about Edward and Bella and all that shit, and Jacob. Unfortunately, yeah. No, I hear you. That makes sense to me. I don't know. So then I guess to what you're saying of it being caught between those two things, and maybe as a consequence of this film being a book split in two, it does feel like that this movie does nothing to evolve the relationship between Edward and Jacob. Oh, sorry, Edward and Bella. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the second, like, they're locked in. We get it. They're happy. They're a thing. You know what I mean? On a romance side, this franchise fails to sort of build to something climactic. You know what I mean?
And that's what I think the letdown of this movie is, not any of like the obviously the plot stuff is boring because they did try it, but like I think the actual letdown is the fact that the relationship and the dynamic that's been so kind of, I don't know, fun to kind of quiz about in terms of Bella being a vampire or not. It does end up boring, like Liam was saying. Like, once she turns, there is no caveat to it, and it does they end up doing nothing with it.
Yeah.
I guess the child is I guess the child is the new addition, but then it feels like it doesn't really spend too much time with it.
No, yeah, that's right. It's she really doesn't feel like a character, Renesmee, at all. She feels like a plot device, which is, is what it is. It would make more sense if she was a baby, but I don't know. You cast Mackenzie Foy, he's like, I don't know, she's probably like, how old is she in this? I don't know, 8 or something. Well, 2012. I don't know, she's probably a bit older. I don't know. And it's just like, I don't know, could you give her something to do? Like, I read, it's so funny, I read in the trivia that, like, diehard fans were like fan casting Mackenzie Foy as Renesmee. So like, obviously that's funny that ended up happening, but more my takeaway from that was like, wait, so these people were fan casting Renesmee? Like, they cared enough about Renesmee to fan cast? You know what I mean? And like, I get that, fans of the franchise are probably fiends for it, and that's cool, but I was just kind of like, based on what I saw in this, maybe there's more in the book, but based on what I saw in this, I'm like, there is nothing to latch on to Renesmee for me to give two shits who played it. You know what I mean? She's just there. I think she had like 3 lines, I think I took note. She like finally said a line like 2/3 of the way through the movie. I'm like, oh, there's a line from Renesmee. Well done,
I mean, she was a baby and a toddler for quite a while of it.
Even after that, she did not say anything after she'd grown. When she hopefully had the ability to speak. But yeah, man. I mean, let me just get to this Renesmee related trivia here quickly, if I can find it. The whole visual aspect of Renesmee is still confounding to me. So I'll just read this. Besides Mackenzie Foy, 10 actresses portrayed the rapidly growing Renesmee, as well as a CGI animated baby. And then this, both an animatronic baby and 3-week-old babies were used in the film. Kristen Stewart preferred working with the real babies because she felt they helped give her a better performance. Yeah, no shit. The whole Renesmee aging and rapidly growing, they do that sort of montage. She grows a bit, but they do that sequence where she sort of ages up. What is this atrocious choice, dude? They get 10 actresses to play her, but then I swear to God, they were still CGIing over their faces for like a while.
Oh yeah, it has to be.
Like when you were saying that in the last one, and I wanted to believe you when you were saying in the last one, oh, we're only gonna have to look at that CGI baby for like a scene because then it's going to age her up. You were right, but you were wrong because
they
still kept doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you CGIing over this like 4-year-old now? Now there's 6, and they just kept doing it until finally there was no clear. I don't recall there being a clear moment where a story moment or like shot or anything where it's like clearly now here's Mackenzie Foy, no more CG bullshit on her face. Like it just kind of like I just kept seeing the weird CG bullshit until finally I realized, oh, there's no CG anymore. I don't know when it went, but now it's not there.
Well, when they finally got to Mackenzie Foy, I think it's when it like properly went.
But like, yeah. But I don't know when that was. I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I guess were they like with all these actresses that they were hiring? Were they like? Is the CG meant to be like they were CGing Mackenzie's voice?
Yeah, I think they were trying to backwards age her onto people's faces, onto the babies' faces. You know.
Right.
I think that's what they were trying to do.
I don't know who thought that was a good idea. I know this had the highest budget of them all, so like maybe they thought that was a good way to use it. But it was really distracting. They should have just, I don't know, have they never watched another movie where they just had different actresses play the character and that's fine? Especially little girls, you know what I mean? Like, it's fine. No one's like, oh, she doesn't look exactly like Mackenzie Foy later. Who cares? Like, gives a shit. You know?
Maybe they're anticipating that as like the big complaint, you know, the big like fan complaint that it's not the same actress or whatever.
Maybe these fans would give a shit about that. That's just such a weird film thing though. Like no one who watches movies cares about that. And then like you go and ruin every shot where they're in it, you know?
Yeah. Mackenzie Foy should have been aged up in Interstellar. Jessica Chastain shouldn't have been there.
They should have gone full Boyhood with it and started preparing ages ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Or they should have CGI'd Jessica Chastain's face onto Mackenzie Foy.
Yeah, that's more accurate, yeah.
That's such a ridiculous concept, man. I mean, look, I feel like the ultimate sort of final showdown in the snowfield takes up it's like the whole third act of this movie, basically. It takes a while.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I liked it. I'll just say that. Yeah, Fitzy, what do you think?
No, I mean, when it was actually real and when freaking Carlisle's head got popped off, that shit was hype. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
That moment shocked me. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But then I was like, this is too, like, and then Jasper died. I was like, a part of me was like, this is too fun to be true, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I still kind of believed in it. But unfortunately, I had to make it all fun and make it all safe and, you know, boring.
Alas. Yeah. I thought I really liked this whole finale. I'm not going to lie. I really did. I thought when they were finally meeting up, it was kind of a little bit hype. Like, it's not as hype as it could be, but it was actually, like, I'm not going to lie, there wasn't no hype. There was a bit of hype.
I think Michael Sheen is the best the best part of this film. Like, I think he's just great in general, you know?
I agree.
His presence as Arrow, as the vampire, you know, fucking king in this film is finally kind of here, and it's pretty decent actually.
Yeah, and he had a few layers to him in this one, genuinely. Like that, he took his chance to go all in as an evil British Emperor character, which was cool. Like in terms of him, like really hamming it up with some of his lines and his little giggle he did when he met Renesmee, it was kind of funny. So he was doing his best to ham it up, which I liked. But then at the same time, you know, like there's a bit of dimension to the character in terms of like he has conflict amongst his own ranks. He does, at the end of the day, he did make a reasonable decision in terms of, you know, he's seeing the truth for what it was, and then obviously a selfish decision, but nonetheless, you know, a logical decision, which I liked. You know, it wasn't just like he was just like, as much as I enjoyed some of the action, the whole fake out thing actually was kind of cool because it sort of added something to Arrow's character where like he doesn't want to go down that road kind of thing, you know. Like he accepts the truth for what it is. He's not so deranged or, you know, whatever, or like delusional that he just fights anyway.
Yeah, they kind of set up Arrow as this kind of corrupt figure in the first half of the film when all the like the configuration of vampires are talking about you know, his previous kind of like injustices or whatever. But like so that's why I thought there might be some kind of vie for power or something. Like I definitely thought Arrow would be, because he's the big bad. I just thought he'd die or something, or like that he'd be replaced, you know.
Sure.
But the fact that he was like reasonable in the end after all that was kind of it's kind of funny, you know. Like They build
Yeah.
they build this guy up for like all these films, and then he's just alive at the end after he sees us. It's like I mean it's fine, I guess, but it's just odd.
It was no, I don't agree. I don't disagree. It was odd. Yeah. I guess I found it kind of surprising, and I honestly did like it overall in the end. Yeah, definitely shout out to Michael Sheen for sure. And like even before that, like before we get to, I definitely want to talk about the action stuff, but before we even get there, like the extended sort of standoff, where they're slowly talking to each other, and then Renesmee walks up and he meets Renesmee, and they're going over the facts of the case. It felt like this sort of like establishing the facts, like sort of a court thing or something. But it was actually I don't know. I thought this sequence was genuinely tense. Like I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if like Alice. It obviously ends up not being true, but when Alice makes the point, "Oh, you'd already made up your mind anyway." Like I was feeling that the whole time prior to her saying it. I'm like, is he already made up his mind, or is he genuinely receptive to what they're saying right now, kind of thing? And I thought they played with that tension really well. I didn't know which way it was going to go. And then they made a decision and they flipped it. Jaden, how do you feel about? Do you agree with anything I'm saying, or are you just like, yeah?
No, I disagree. I think
boring
with more things. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I could never get into the battle, and I think Arrow's decisions are kind of it's hard for me to land on him because I think I would have preferred for it to be real, and at the end of the day, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Well, yeah, let's get into that. The actual, I can totally understand for you why it would be hard to get into the action without being spoiled, but it sounds like you were pretty into it, Fitzy, in terms of like Carlisle's head coming off. I was into it, I thought I was genuinely devastated when Carlisle's head came off. I was like, oh,
no, same. I was shocked. Yeah, I was like, this film
someone really
actually
died
did
in this
something.
series. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, yeah, they haven't committed to that. So yeah, I mean, like Carlisle's death, fucking Jasper's death, and just the fights in general were kind of. I think it was decently like choreographed, and Bella and Edward fighting together was cool.
Yeah,
I think in general it was just like a decent, like big battle scene. That used all of the kind of minor characters as well in a fun way. So
yeah. That's true, because all those minor characters, like they had some fun lines and stuff. If they felt totally contrived in terms of we need some numbers. We're gonna do this sequence, so we need some bodies. So we better introduce these characters. So it would have been much better if these characters were introduced earlier. But I guess that goes back to what we were saying earlier.
Oh, you mean like I don't mean those minor characters, but like those two are cool. But I mean more like Dakota Fanning and like the Cullen clan and all of that.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was talking about. Oh wait, I was talking about like the other guys who came from overseas. But
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. The other Cullen dudes. Yeah, I get you. Dude, Dakota Fanning had one line in this movie. Did you notice that?
Really?
She said pain. Yeah. She had one word, actually. Apologies. She had one word. When when she was looking down, she said pain.
Pain, yeah.
Pain. That was her one thing she said.
She's my favorite character, man. I love. What's her name? I love.
God, if I know.
Fanning's character in the Twilight Saga.
I actually like her a fair bit too. She just looks the part in terms of being
totally. She looks so evil though. I thought she just like.
I know.
I thought she'd be the one to overtake Arrow. That's just a belief that I still have. I don't know.
Yeah, totally. It kind of feels. She totally feels like in terms of her her actual place in their order, as well as her whole vibe, feels like someone who would be background manipulating to usurp.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish we did that, but we didn't. But that's, I don't know. I'd like to think if this story continued, that's what would happen.
We need to rewrite this film. Yeah.
Give Dakota Fanning way more lines. Yeah, absolutely. In terms of I totally agree with you with Carlisle and Jasper. Of the two, they chose correctly. The two, if you're gonna fake out death, two minor characters, or two, I shouldn't say they're not minor, but two supporting characters, let's say, they're the two to choose because they're the most likable in my opinion. So they chose correctly in terms of which ones to fake out death. If it had been the mum, I'd be whatever.
But, I think if it was someone like Alice, you wouldn't believe it. I don't know. There's
something
important. Yeah. she's important to Bella, you know. And you can't kill someone who's that important to Bella.
Yeah, that's true. So just we've already talked about it a little bit, but just going all in on it then, Fitzy. What like, yay or nay on the fake out itself?
Like, it really made me laugh when it happened. Like, I was like, okay, like you fucking you got me there, you know. I was like laughing for like a minute. But
I
like
get that, yeah.
I do like agree with Jaden overall that I'd be much happier if something actually happened in the end. I mean, it's the fifth movie in a saga. You know, like surely we can have one character die or two characters die, and we can have some fun. You know,
Yeah.
but, yeah. Like, why does everyone need to be alive in the end? Like, why do we need it? Like, it's happily ever after enough with like fucking Edward, Renesmee, and Bella, and I guess Jacob. I mean, that kind of complicates. The whole thing, but it's okay. He'll be dead in like what? Do wolves live like 150? Or is it like a normal life?
I think it's normal. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, sure, he's there protecting Renesmee, but it's like he'll be dead anyway. Like, soon enough.
So does Renesmee? So Renesmee doesn't die, right?
Well, we don't know. The Brazilian guy was like 150, but like,
we don't know
about if he's going to keep on going or if he's going to die eventually.
That's what confused me, because like the whole point, they kept the way they kept phrasing it in the movie in terms of Renesmee being an issue was she's not immortal, right? But I think what is that what they're actually saying?
Yeah, they just don't know is the issue.
Yeah. What they're really saying is she'll grow up to an adult, and after that we don't know. But the point is that the problem is that the kids can't be immortal, like they can't stay kids. That's the problem. Yeah. So it was kind of, I guess it was kind of a weird way of phrasing it. Yeah, it's not clear, because that Brazilian guy, he said he hadn't changed a day since he was fully grown. So, like, does that mean he's not going to die?
I think
that means he would be.
I think they're immortal, but they have the mortal characteristics of like growing up to a certain age. I think they are immortal. Like, you can't be half mortal and half immortal, because then you're just mortal, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But he's an immortal dude who grows up though, as opposed to being turned. Well, that makes sense. If you're born a vampire, that's probably what would happen. The whole point is that all these other guys have been turned, right? That's the thing. So, I guess that makes sense. Anyway, yeah, so I guess that's kind of weird, Freight, because the whole the plot driving, they keep saying she's not immortal, but yeah, anyway, that's sort of it. Whatever. I liked the fake out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a defender of it. I liked it. They got that. First of all, they got me as well. My mouth was open. My jaw hit the floor a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, wow. Didn't see it coming at all. And I thought it was I know you can definitely easily, and I think you guys sort of already have, you can definitely take what I'm about to say and make it a negative, and I think that's fair. But for me, it's a positive, where I actually think it was a clever way to have their cake and eat it too, in terms of they still get to do the sequence, which had fun moments, which had the character deaths and stuff. And sure, it is. I totally get the argument. It's a shame they sort of undercut it by it not being real. But at the same, in my mind, though, like, it worked because we had the fun of it, which I did very much enjoy, while at the same time still taking the more interesting story path of, because earlier when the scene was tense of like, is Arrow going to believe them or not? I obviously wanted Arrow to believe them and for them to just walk away, and so I sort of got that satisfaction as well. You know what I mean? I sort of got both what I was looking for. In a way that I enjoyed. And like I said, I think it shows something about Arrow actually being partially reasonable. It shows that like I've already sort of said that I thought the plot of this movie was kind of dumb. So I appreciated that the plan worked. Like I would have been so annoyed if like for an hour and a half in this movie, they spent all that time doing this witness thing, finding all these witnesses. And then that ended up being dumb because they all just fought anyway. Like the witness plan still actually worked in the end, you know? So I don't know. They kind of did everything at once, which I can understand is a negative. I enjoyed all the aspects of it, though, so I'm a fan.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair, but I wasn't really. I don't think I was invested in Arrow's like reasonability, you know, because I just thought he'd always fight in the end, because he was just like corrupt, and like him deciding not to. I guess it wasn't as much a decision as it was just like his hand was forced. You know, like he saw himself die. So I was like, he's not gonna choose that over the other thing. So like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I guess if I saw it from the kind of arrow reason angle, I'd agree. But yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, yeah, we can get into the actual, like, I mean, we already talked about it. Yeah, we don't need to talk about Jacob and Renesmee anymore, please. But like the actual ending, you know what I mean? In terms of what Jane was talking about earlier, of like this is a romance story first and foremost. That's what people are here for. That's what all the girls packed midnight to see this film for.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude. Wait.
Yes.
I'm wondering, like, is this the one that I saw in the cinemas and you know, with my uncle, and
you're still
he took
not
me
sure?
out 10 minutes after, because I think it might be. Oh, like I haven't thought about it, but now I'm like trying to think.
I like how this has been a mystery for every single one that we've done.
It wasn't this one?
No. It was one of the later ones. It was either part 1 or part 2, I think. Because I was about 10 or 11 in like 2012, so I think it was this one, maybe, because I think I remember Bella like having the red eyes in the poster.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like I do remember some of those teenage girls in that theater. But I guess I would have been pretty disappointed with this, you know. But
yeah. They would have been.
Well, because it's just like it's less of a romance, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe they.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Well, where I was going with this was that, do you think they would have been disappointed by that actual ending though, like the actual like final montage with that 1,000 Years song playing? Because like, dude, when that was going, like if I thought that was actually somewhat effective, even though it was not earned at all in this, it was not earned in this movie at all. But like, as like, you know, looking back at the saga, all that sort of shit, right?
Yeah.
If you're invested in these characters, that's actually kind of effective. I can see them all like crying at that shit.
I think it worked. Dude, it worked for me.
You know. Yeah. No, sorry, I am saying it worked. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't like it.
Okay.
I thought it was cheap. I thought it was shit. I was like, you know. No, but I was not just cheap visually or whatever. Like, I just think, like, also, like, I think anything. I don't know. I think ending on a recap is a bold choice, and like it I don't think it worked at all. I think it was just a very boring way to end the series, because it comes like 2 minutes after the fake out as well. So you're like hit with one disappointment, and then like your resolution is that Bella shows Edward a memory. Like, get fucked. I don't know. I wasn't impressed by it.
Okay, fair enough. I thought as an editing sequence with the song, I thought it was effective. Yeah. And I think I'm saying that, like, if I were in the theater, if I were a girl, like, well, I keep picking on girls, you know, you don't have to be a girl. If I was in the theater and invested, I'll put it that way. I can see that, like, actually being emotional and good. Even though I don't disagree it's cheap, by the way, but like, I'm just saying, like, by itself, what the response would be, I can see it being pretty good. What else happened? Oh yeah, to what you're saying, Jane, they went all in on the looking back with this ending, of course, with that montage. But then I actually really thought this was cool. They did a full like saga, full franchise credit sequence, which I'm like, I haven't seen that before personally. I don't know if you guys have, but I thought it was cool. Giving everyone their respect for being in the series. It was a choice though, but I appreciated it.
Just on those credits, I quite like the opening credits.
They were new too.
Yeah, they were quite nice. Just the red and white and the kind of drama of it.
They've never done that. Yeah, I decided to start now.
It was too modern though for this. I don't know. It was too nice for Twilight. I don't know. It didn't match any of the other, you know, the credits. I think it was too different from the usual aesthetic. Like, was it not? Like, it was like totally different from like any other opening. You know,
it was different. But I didn't think it was out of place. I didn't think it was out of place.
Oh, well, I did. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got one more bit of trivia here. Probably should have said it earlier. Okay, I'm just going to read it. Taylor Lautner practiced for months getting into character by looking at babies in the NICU at local hospitals. That's it. That's all it said. I just thought it was the funniest trivia I read in a long time. Like, wait, what? That can't be real. I don't know.
No, that's gotta be. What do you mean he had to prepare by looking at baby?
That's gotta. That's. I assume that's a piss take, but it actually had quite a lot of upvotes, which is like usually when something's like fake, people downvote it. So like, I don't. Oh man. Anyway,
okay.
that was too good not to include, in my opinion. Any thoughts on the soundtrack or score this time?
Oh, the score. The soundtrack was giving me whiplash at the like in the first third. I feel like they just moved like song to song, and that was part of the whole sensory overload thing of the first. I don't know, the first like half an hour ish. Like the editing as well was just like nuts. It was just like just constant. It was just scene to scene. You know, it was, I don't know. There was no breathing space at all. For the songs as well.
That's true.
Mm.
Jaden was too bored, or too busy laughing, or bored. It sounds like your summary of this, Jaden, was that you're either laughing or bored.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's
laughing for the first 30 minutes and then bored for the rest, pretty much.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, you didn't get
like that's what I was ready to love this movie because of how much I was laughing, and then it just got dull.
Yeah, it did. Those factors did disappear. That's true.
Mm.
What about Rami Malek turning up? That was like,
that was exciting.
Oh yeah, yeah, mind blowing.
That was mind blowing. That first shot of him, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And it's kind of, it has this interesting effect where like, because it's before he's like a name, there's like, if he was a name, they would shoot the thing differently. Like it would be, the whole scene would be structured differently around revealing that Rami Malek's in the movie. You know what I mean? Because he's not a name at all. No one cares about him in 2012. Like it has this weird effect.
I didn't not at museum at that point.
I don't know who's in those. Is he in those?
I think he's in the second or third one.
Yeah, okay. He's like the Egyptian Tutankhamun, or is it? You know,
he's one of the pharaohs.
Like,
yeah, are you going to argue me that Rami Malek was a household name because of that?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. But you know what I mean? Where it's like, because they just nonchalantly like to show him, and the way they do it, it's just kind of like, now that we know, it's just kind of like funny to go back to that. It has this effect that it's obviously never meant to, you know.
Yeah, I knew Freddie Mercury was a vampire. You know, let's just prove it.
Alrighty, let's get to our final verdicts for the Twilight Saga: Breaking Dawn Part 2. Jaden.
Yeah, I'll put a 4 on it. It's definitely into the bad territory now. But you know,
it's over now.
Yeah,
so that's all right.
Until we get the Edward remix.
Oh yeah, dude, that's happening. Dude, if Stephanie remade her book twice, then like, you know, this franchise it's getting remade for sure. I'll slap a 6 on this. I'll slap a strong 6 on this actually. I feel like I would be a bit disingenuous if I gave it a 7. But I did actually like enjoy it quite a bit. 50.
3. I'll give it a 3.
I thought you were more with me.
No, bro, I called it unbearable. What do you mean? We were talking about cool moments, but the whole film was like, it was boring, true. Man. It was shit.
Yeah, okay. No, that does go back to your rating, but I feel like we were vibing on the certain scenes, you know, and then okay.
Yeah,
no, I get you.
I don't know.
We don't have to like think about it too hard, but like quick ranking, right? Like for me, this is second. It's the first one, this one, Eclipse, Part 1, New Moon. And I know you guys liked New Moon actually a fair bit, or more than me. So like yours is probably way different than mine.
I think mine actually goes in release order.
Really? You think they get progressively worse?
I'd put Part 1 probably above the third one, whichever that is.
Eclipse. You put Part 1 above Eclipse?
I probably would.
Wow. Okay. All right. No, I'm definitely an Eclipse fan over that.
Was Eclipse better than New Moon? I can't remember. Okay, I gave Eclipse a 6. So number 1, number 3, number 2, number 4, number 5.
Wow, so this is your least favorite. Okay. Damn. There you go. There it is. Someone try and make an official combined ranking out of that. I'm fucked if I know. Way too much math there. All right. Well, that's it.
Did you suggest that we do this saga? Was this your idea, Zach? I can't remember.
I think it came up and I supported it strongly. Like, I definitely was a pusher of it. I'm not denying that.
Okay.
I don't regret it though. Like, I am glad I've seen
No,
it.
yeah, I'm glad to finally got through one. Yeah.
Yeah. And, fun conversations. It sounds like you already instant regret, Fitzy, on your part.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No. But like, like the first one at least. Okay, don't worry.
You sure?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I feel like you were like searching for someone to blame. Of like, oh god, we just did this because of you, didn't we?
No, I'm just glad we acknowledged that the first one is,
is the best one.
It is a good film, and
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. We know Andy disagrees, but yeah. Okay, well, kiss goodbye to the Twilight Saga, and kiss goodbye to all of the views it brings, all of the new people. Stick around though, you might like if you Twilight fans like other movies, maybe subscribe. But I don't know, a lot of you guys probably don't like other movies, to be honest. Just rewatch the Twilight Saga on repeat. Now it's time for our highlights of the week. Jaden, what have you been watching?
I have unfortunately been watching My Hero Academia, and I have unfortunately been fucking loving it.
Oh, there we go.
It is so fucking good, man. This is a anime I saw off long before I even started watching anime, because the fandom is just so cringe, man. All this whole Deku Todoroki shit is just the fucking worst thing you'd ever experienced. I wasn't even that close. Like, when I was in my fandom stage, I wasn't even that close to the anime fandom, but they fucking leak through, and like when they that was just the fucking worst, man. So I was like, I can't. This is so terrible. It's cringe. But recently Overwatch collaborated with MHA to release a couple of skins, and a lot of the Overwatch streamers and shit, like they watch the show, they love it, and I was like, might as well just give it a go. Yeah, and it's fantastic. It's great. I'm like a season and a half in. It is just great stuff. It's like it's superhero stuff. Like it's cape shit, but just like anime. But it's quite good. I don't know. Like, the characters are great. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. The storyline is pretty decent in the first season. The second season, we're starting to get into like this animeism of like just spending so much time on one event. But like, I don't really know if I can really criticize the show for that, when that is what so many animes do, where they just like dedicate like 6 to 12 episodes on a single arc. So I'm worrying a bit on that, but like, I'm still enjoying my time with it. It's just an anime thing that you kind of have to get over, I guess. But yeah, it is so fun, and I just love it. I'm really loving it, which just, it blew me out of the water, man. Like, I was ready to watch one episode and just give up. But yeah, I think it's fantastic.
I can tell by your enthusiasm. Is it so? I've heard of this show. Are they students or something?
Yeah. So it's actually a world where 80% of the population have like a superpower, and like it ranges from like being like minimal to like incredibly, and then like it's a quirk, and Deku is born quirkless, where like and if you're born quirkless, you can't get superpowers, but then he inherits his power from someone else, which is unheard of, and then he goes to this to UA, and it's just all about him training and becoming the best, becoming the symbol of peace.
Becoming the symbol of peace. Oh my god!
Because that's who he inherits his power from, the symbol of peace. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not sure where it goes in later seasons, because it seems like I thought the show was over. I didn't realize it was still running, but then I saw like the last episode apparently like aired like a couple of days ago. So I don't know where it goes later seasons, because I can't imagine they spend the entire time in UA, given how fast it's progressing now. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm so keen to keep on going.
I can tell. Yeah. Awesome.
It's great.
Very nice.
So Overwatch did a good collaboration. Oh well, I guess MHA did a good collaboration in getting me to watch the show from the collab. Yes,
that's what it was. That was what finally just pushed you over.
Yep.
Gotcha. Dude, if only Abbott Elementary could have done the same thing,
Oh my god! I heard this week that the crossover with Sunny is going to be 2 episodes, one on Sunny, one on Abbott Elementary. So I might have to go back and watch, like, and like obviously only one episode and it's fully crossover, but like I just don't want to associate with that.
You know, like you don't want to like click on the thumbnail.
It's just
yeah,
so bad, man.
I respect that. Fitzy, I'll talk about The Apprentice. We went on our date and saw The Apprentice. I really enjoyed this movie. I don't know. It's funny. I know you were feeling a bit conflicted when you walk out, and when I saw the score you gave it, that felt right with what you were saying. For me, I just really enjoyed the performances a lot. How did you feel about how Sebastian Stan did, like as a performance in general, but and then like as a Trump,
No, he was great. He was excellent. Yeah. I mean,
he was.
Him and freaking Jeremy Strong were both excellent.
Oh, dude.
The slow kind of morphing into, I mean, he kind of has like some of Trump's like expression throughout, but he does it. He does it in a very like tactful way where he's kind of still himself, So it's doesn't veer into parody and that kind of thing. So yeah,
that's right. That's the best way to put it, because I definitely like when he started when he's like first few lines in the movie at the start, I was like kind of surprised because it's just Sebastian Stan talking. Like it didn't like I was kind of, I don't know, I was expecting more of an impression. I obviously don't want like a parody like you're saying, but I was expecting something a little bit stronger. And so I'm like, am I going to have to get used to this Sebastian Stan's voice being Donald Trump? But then you sort of, as it goes, you sort of realize, oh, this does work. Like it's sort of, you wouldn't want it the other way of him like trying to lean into it more. And then it gets to the point where there's that one scene where he's like doing a TV interview for the first time, and like he doesn't do anything crazy. It's not like he changes his voice or anything, but just his cadence of speaking. Then suddenly I like heard it. I was like, oh, that does actually sound like Trump in a weird way that I sort of wasn't hearing earlier when he was just in his regular life stuff,
Yeah, but I think even when he's young, like I did think that initially. I thought, oh, that it's just Sebastian Stan, but then he is doing subtle things that later become more accentuated. So
yeah, exactly.
It's really good.
And I think that's reflected in his physical transformation as it goes as well. Like when it first started and his hair at the start, I don't know what Trump's hair used to look like when he was like 30 or whatever, so maybe that's accurate. But like I was kind of like, his hair just feels faker. Like maybe he actually looked like that. I don't know, but then by the time we get to like the late 80s and stuff, I'm like, there were a few shots. I'm like, oh, actually, he looks like Trump, several times. Like I just bought it with like the way that because they changed the hair and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I was dude, Jeremy Strong. Oh my god, screen presence 11 out of 10 in basically in everything, but in this movie. But that first shot with him in the movie where he's staring across the room.
Yeah. Did you Did you try not to burst out laughing, man?
Yes. I was smiling. I was smiling.
Oh,
that
wow.
was funny.
I feel like if one of us started laughing, the other, we'd
yeah.
Up.
Yeah. That was so good, man. That was so good. I really enjoyed his performance. So yeah, strong performances. Yeah, I think the film worked. I think I said this to you, but the film worked most for me when it was sort of about the both of them and the influence they had on each other. There were some times where like Jeremy Strong would disappear for like 20 minutes, and like that was my least favorite stuff. Like when it was about their relationship and then like and it's sort of how it goes with the direction. Like it's all about sort of like Trump's rise and then like the Strong's character's influence on it and that kind of thing. And I thought that was all interesting. So yeah, it was an enjoyable watch for me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think like overall it was very kind of maybe satisfying is the wrong word, but like a satisfying like rise and fall type story, or like a corruption type narrative.
Yeah.
Like in that sense, the structure was very very strong, and the relationship between those two was cool. The way that kind of soured, and evolved, I guess. So yeah, like overall, all those elements were strong. I just don't know, like the general themes or the general idea. I don't know how much I get from that, or like just holistically, I don't know how much I get from the film, apart from all the kind of enjoyable aspects that it has.
Yes,
but yeah, like it was a very solidly made film. I like the choice to kind of, I don't know, like it was a small thing, but like the choice to start on that kind of punk vibe as well, and kind of
Yeah.
having that momentum from the start, where Trump's like, he's running around like his father's building trying to collect rent and that kind of thing. Like
That was really cool.
showing the more vulnerable side and the more human side was like obviously like one of the highlights of the film as well.
Definitely, yeah.
So there was a few things that did like really strongly, but like overall, I can't call it great because I just can't really rectify like what the film's like fully about, I guess.
Do you think it's conscious of like trying not to lean too hard in any direction just because of how it'll be interpreted as through a modern lens of like saying something about his, about today kind of thing?
Like it'll feel too like too
much like
blindingly
an
like
endorsement,
political in a sense,
like an endorsement or the opposite. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I think it sort of felt like
blindly political.
I think that could have been a factor. Like they didn't want it to come across as either an endorsement or an indictment on him. Like they sort of just, and it's sort of an awkward time to release it if with that in mind, I guess.
I think it's definitely like more an indictment, but
yeah, no, I do
know.
agree.
Like I do get what you're saying, I guess, because it is showing the more human side that it doesn't fully go into that like it I don't know, yeah, it doesn't fully paint him as like the worst, but it also kind of does. It is kind of a middle ground there. I don't know.
It's one of those. Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones where you sort of take away from it what you will. Like it's not trying to hammer you over the head with any particular. I think it definitely leans negative. I agree, but it doesn't like hit you over the head with like this guy sucks and this is what this movie's about. Like don't vote for this guy. You know what I mean? It's not like that. But
like you think it's more about the character than like the person, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like and the character arc itself as a reflection of like as a more general sort of story thing. But then when you use Trump as the mechanism to tell that, it sort of draws interesting parallels that you can make to things you see in real life with him and stuff if you want. That's all how I read it. I don't think it's like trying to directly, tell anyone to vote a certain way or anything, that kind of thing. So in that sense, I guess I appreciate its tact. Like I don't think I probably would have disliked it if it was just sort of over the head, with a certain take. But I guess I'm just agreeing with what you're saying with where it sort of as a result of that it does sort of feel like it lacks a thesis or it lacks like a clear idea. Yeah.
Back to that.
Yeah. Well done there, Zach. Anyway, Fitzy, sorry, what have you been watching?
Oh, well, I rewatched Casino Royale, and
dude,
I really loved it. So I have to
Exercise your
apologize.
sins.
Yeah, I have to apologize to the Zach of 5 years past. I don't know. This it just really worked for me this time. I don't know what it was. I think the main thing is caring about Vesper, because I think when I previously watched it, I just thought, Vesper's this cool plot device or whatever, and I did understand that there was something deeper going on in terms of Bond's emotions and connection with Vesper, but I never personally cared that much for her or their relationship. But in this one, in this rewatch, I definitely saw it. I think the key, you have to fall in love with Vesper a little bit to really for this film to fully work, And I think I did, because I think I saw just how fucking conflicted and confusing the whole Vesper situation is, because it's like she's thinking about her boyfriend, she's also in love with Bond. The way Bond shows his vulnerability is also something that I saw this time that I didn't in previous watches. Like he does always have that shield up, but then there is a scene, that beach scene, where he finally kind of lets that down, and I don't think I saw that for what it was in previous watches. Which is like this awesome like moment of vulnerability that we actually get to see. So like like seeing that and having that be like destroyed in the end was like fucking, I don't know, it was brutal, man. It's a fucking brutal film, So like I understand much better. And I think what I said like years ago also was that he goes from like a cold person to a colder person or whatever, but like it's the final kind of opportunity, for him to open himself up and escape this life, right? And and it's shown at the start of the film that he does kind of have that hot streak to him, that he's not fully emotionless yet. So it's the last, it's the last opportunity, as I said, for him to kind of be a human, and then he, it all just kind of gets crushed in the end, which was is brilliant. And I think I cared more just for the whole Europe thing as well. I think I used to think that was just boring, but I think it's like a very, very nice looking and feeling film. I don't know how that changed as well, but yeah, I mean, it's great. And Mads obviously is fucking fantastic as well.
Oh, dude.
So,
yeah. Le
Chief,
Le
yeah.
Chief. He's great. I'm glad you righted the wrongs of the
Came
past.
around. Yeah.
It's been a long time. It took a long time coming, but I'm very, very happy with that.
Don't count on it for anything else,
I was, you know what I'm thinking, don't you?
No, it's not happening. Man. It's not happening. Last time Ryan's staying at a 4. Maybe I'll downgrade actually. Yeah.
Oh no! Come on now. Now comes the segment where we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week we asked you, who is the ugliest CGI character in a movie? Dr. Leanne said, the ugliest character created using computer-generated imagery would have to be Jabba the Hutt in Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope. This monster's ugliness is closely followed by the shark in Jaws 3D. And let's not forget those flying internal shark organs. I think have either of you guys seen this movie? Thank God. That sounds terrible. That sounds really bad. Obviously, in these earlier days of CGI, the bad work was very easy to spot. In fact, it stood out like a sore toe. However, ugly characters continued with films in the 1990s and the 21st century. More bad work was seen with the supposedly cute but weird monkey character in Lost in Space. The very bad and ugly work continued with some of the monsters in I Am Legend. Some of the zombies, yeah, they're like, are they like vampire zombies?
I don't know vampire. I don't know zombies, but
something to do with vampires in that movie.
They were
right?
different. They had a twist to them. I can't remember that.
Yeah, there's something going on there. Finally, there were those aliens with green eyes in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Oh yeah, for sure. We know all about that. Movie makers, if you're going to spend millions on these sorts of special effects, take the time to get it right. If you're not sure, run the work by a dummy audience. You won't regret taking the time to do some market research for what CGI is and is not going to pass the pub test. That's it from Dr. Leanne this week. Thank you, Leanne. See, the bad thing is they do that. From what I understand, they do that, and then still, some things still come out the way they are. You know what I mean? But yes, thank you, Leanne. You totally stole my answer with Jabba the Hutt, by the way. That is.
Oh really?
Dude, I've got another backup answer, but my God, like you've seen this.
Yeah, to be fair, I haven't watched the digital retouches in a while.
It's so bad.
Last time I watched the originals, but like I don't really remember it being particularly bad.
Dude, it's terrible. It's okay. Dude. Wait, first of all, it's just terrible with no caveat. Like that scene is not canon in my mind. But then when Han, you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about? That's
when they're
that
meeting
part
under the Millennium, yeah.
Yeah. And there's this part, dude. You got to look this up if you haven't seen it in a while. There's this part where Han walks because the scene is taken from a deleted scene where Jabba was a human actor, and they just CG over him. So, but then Jabba's got this tail now. So there's this part in the scene where Han walks behind Jabba in the shot, and they have to they rotoscope Harrison Ford awkwardly stepping over his tail because he never does that. He never does that because it's just a dude in the original. So and it's literally the most jarring keyframing of Harrison Ford going up, and then it's so bad. It's anyway. That's the correct answer. Thank you, Leanne. Aiden said, see Ricky Gervais's comment about James Corden at the Oscars. That's a Cats reference. For those out there. Yeah. I have not seen that, but I actually kind of wanted to be honest with you. Andy said, I can't think of any CGI character that looks uglier than Baby Rez, but I could think up a couple of awful CGI work added on a character, who is definitely not ugly. So either the random ring on the finger from Denzel Washington in Spike Lee's Inside Man, or Florence Pugh's black dress in Oppenheimer, the Middle Eastern versions. I looked both of these up. The Inside Man one is funny. That's funny. I don't think it's terrible because like I definitely watched it and didn't notice. But then if you go back and look at it, it's pretty funny. Florence Pugh's black dress is that's a pisser. That's good. I've only ever seen. I don't know if I can watch it in motion. Maybe it's on YouTube or something. I saw a screenshot of it, and that's.
I mean,
the screenshot looks
like it's
screenshot
just,
looks fine.
Oh no! It's just that it's like not official. Like it's a censorship done by the government, so that's why it looks like shit. You know.
Oh sure, but no. You don't think? Hang on, you don't think Warner Brothers team in America did it?
I don't think so.
I think they definitely did.
Really?
Because that's the version they have to. They make the version to release there.
Do they?
I think so. Yeah, it's not like the government goes and touches up a film themselves.
I thought they would because I just thought the studio would be like, yeah, fuck off, and then
Saudi CGI artists come and paint a black dress. Yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong. That's not what I thought, but. And then Dr. Luke says, Zach from the Polar Express. And then there's this gif of this guy from the Polar Express. Does that look like me? I guess it does.
Yeah.
God damn it. Man. Okay, all right. The Polar Express always creeped me out. Always. Just didn't like looking at it.
It didn't creep me out, but it's just always been a shit movie, and I've always hated it, and I've always like never understood why people fucking like it.
Wow, really? Yeah, I don't know. People do like it. I haven't seen it in years.
And then like one of our mates rewatched it recently. I mean, like last year Christmas times, and he gave it like a really low rating. I was like, "Thank fuck, people are fun around this." And I was like,
I would like to revisit
a crap movie, man.
Yeah. Have we ever done a Christmas movie on this show? Actually,
yeah, Godfather.
No, it doesn't count. Maybe we should just throw that out there. Maybe that's an idea. Okay. Anyway, ugliest CGI characters, Jaden.
Murdoch from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Oh, dude, I've not seen that.
It is dog shit. Absolutely the worst fucking thing put to screen in recent.
Jesus.
In terms of recent CGI, like regardless, you can pick a ton of early examples, like Dwayne and
Scorpion King,
King, or even like I saw like T-800 in Salvation, but like even 2009 to fully animated human.
Like, and it's sort of fine for what it is in the story, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, but when you're looking at Marvel $200 million films, 2023, you're like, this is unacceptable.
Did
you search it up? No, yeah.
Come on, that's not real. That's
what it is. I know you're saying not real, and I can't see what you're saying, but I can guarantee you what you're looking at is what it is.
Oh no, I can tell it's real now because there's like many versions of it, and it's the same thing, dude. That's Shark Boy and Lava Girl stuff.
Yep. And that's actually because I was looking through like examples of like bad CGI, and someone mentioned Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and I was like, oh no, it's not that.
That's what made you think of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so bad. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't imagine what goes through, your studio's mind saying this is okay.
That's meant to be Corey Stoll?
Well, yeah, because it's Yellow Jacket, but then like in like the quantum realm.
It looks nothing like him. I guess maybe it does if you like Photoshop stretch his face out.
Yeah.
Like that.
It doesn't.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. Yeah, great answer, Jaden. So mine is, we've talked about bad CG on the show before, so and Jabba is truly in that realm. So that's a great answer. But in terms of ugliest CG that I'm just like, I don't think it's bad in terms of its construction, but I just can't look at it. And honestly, so I'm not a huge fan in general of the Michael Bay TMNT characters.
Oh.
They're not like the turtles. I'm not a big. They're fine. I'm not. They're like I'd probably give them a 4. Like they're not. I don't think they're atrocious, but like I don't vibe with them that much. But for me, it's Splinter. Oh my god. I never want to see a huge humanoid CG rat character. And I'm meant to care about this character, you know? Oh my god, ugly as hell. I wouldn't want to look at it if it was a villain. And it's like meant to be the father figure mentor character. Oh, terrible. Terrible. And to be fair, maybe it's a bit of Splinter hate because I always hate Splinter. I think he's just ugly. I don't want to root for this rat dude. It's gross. You know? Even in that new animated one they did last year, I'm like, this guy looks ugly. But yeah, especially when you put him in live action and make him a big rat, you know, with the big turtle. No, not into that. That's ugly. You know. So yeah, that's my answer. Fitzy.
I don't know. I don't really have a good answer. I mean, there's an early CGI thing. The Lawnmower Man. I have some connection to this because it was on SBS, like a few months ago, and it was like back to back every day, just the Lawnmower Man. And it's just this Pierce Brosnan film about like, I don't know, some kind of metaverse or something, some kind of tech shit, some Matrix type shit. But yeah, like there's definitely this. I mean, I find it pretty charming actually. Like it's kind of a fun film, and it's just like there's this one sequence where the CG, it's just like pure bad CG. But it's like, and the camera's like jutting all over his face, and it's definitely bad, but it's kind of a fun film. It's kind of a cool like relic type film, like early CG technology, but yeah, okay. It's definitely ugly, definitely bad.
It's I'm looking at it. It's ugly, no doubt.
What worries me more is that there's a Lawnmower Man 2 apparently. So you can only imagine what that's going to look like.
Oh man, they're going to deliberately make it look like a PS2 game still.
Because I mean, yeah, how many mistakes can studios make in terms of like making really bad CGI characters? You know.
Yeah,
there's ugly characters out there. Lion King 2019.
No, absolutely
true.
I won't stand for that. I mean, I think everyone. So it was a big deal when they showed a blue genie in Aladdin, Will Smith. That was a thing at the time, right? I recall. Yeah. But then I feel like no one ended up caring about that in the end.
Like who everyone actually saw that movie? Like I love Guy Ritchie, but like
that movie made $1 billion.
Did it? That's yes. $1 billion movie.
Yes.
Fuck.
Hang on. Oh, sorry. Actually, I know Lion King is. I think it is. Let me double check. I saw that movie, by the way.
I genuinely don't know anyone else that's seen that movie.
29 box office Aladdin. Yeah, it made just creeped over $1 billion. 1.051. Yep.
Really?
There you go. But yeah, I feel like when they came out, no one ended up really caring about that anymore, and like no one talks about it anymore as like an example of bad CG or anything. But yeah, that was.
I think it's definitely bad. I think it's just a boring example. People are probably sick of it, sick of talking about it after 2019.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh my god, I'm just scrolling here. My Google search is Lawnmower Man CGI, and I just kept scrolling, and eventually I found this Jabba. Jabba's here too! Oh, please stop. I don't want to look at him. Okay. As always, we'd love you to submit your responses, thoughts, and or reviews for next week's film in the YouTube or Instagram comment sections, or join the Discord server. This week, the specific question we'll be asking you is, who is your favourite British director? Let us know. And of course, Christopher Nolan does not count. Banned.
Vetoed, banned.
Vetoed, yep, 100%. He is American. I don't care what he sounds like. He's American. He's a Yankee. Okay. Have you heard his brother talk? If you needed any more evidence he's faking his British accent, then there it is. Okay. That's it for this week's episode. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Fitzy, what are we doing next week?
We are doing Widows, which is a Steve McQueen film. Viola Davis, Elizabeth Debicki, Colin Farrell, maybe some other sneaky people that may or may not be in the film.
Huge.
So yeah.
That was like a third of the big names, by the way. There's like
No, yeah,
CGI
but
Renesmee.
like I know like some people are in the poster or whatever, but like they really shouldn't
Yeah.
be. Like they really shouldn't be
Oh,
in the fucking poster. I think.
yeah, that's a shame.
Because it's like yeah. But anyway,
I've seen them all in the poster, so
yeah, there might be a certain Liam that's in the film
yeah,
as well. So
yeah, that's sick. All right, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, that's it. I appreciate Liam and Jaden for joining me as always. Have a great rest of your week, everyone, and goodbye.